Can
Hello,
you hear me
hello.
well? Yeah,
Here
cool.
just fine.
Yeah, very glad to see you here today. This. So I think we
Oh, it's a
can
pleasure
jump
to be here.
into yeah. So I think we can start our space today now. Yeah, for the first word, let me say hello to everyone here and welcome to today Weex Pay. And I'm Sanis from the Weex team. We're really thrilled to host another session of how real world infrastructure, smart token design, and institutional adoption are reshaping global finance. So today's topic is around EVA, EverValue, the first Bitcoin deflationary token with a rising forward price. So, and I think this space is part of our space series spotlighting projects that marry cutting edge tech with practical, scalable utility as well. So, joining us is the team behind EverValue. So, we have Castaneda here. Can you help me to introduce a bit about yourself before we jump into our main part?
Well, sure. First of all, thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here with you all. My name is Casta Neda, but people usually call me Casta here in Brazil. I'm an influencer and also a builder on the Web3 ecosystem. And since the mid to beginning of last year, I have been a partner and an ambassador for the EverValue project and have been
Mm.
talking a lot about the project in lots of Brazilian events, and right now being able to talk with the project about you guys as well.
Oh, cool, cool, real cool. Uh, yeah, I'm really appreciate your presentation today. Um, yeah, I think Eva, can I spell that or I should say EVA?
No, it can be Niva. It's okay.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, and Eva is fully backed by Bitcoin via transparent on-chain bonds, right? So each day a portion of BTC mined by Either values per way paste in deposit into a burn bonds, increasing the BTC backing ratio over time. Yeah, I think it's really cool and impressive. So as always, Wix is commit to supporting high quality for EverValue now, and EverValue is now officially listed on Wix as well. So you guys can go on Wix.com to check it out. Yeah, so let's go let's jump into the conversation and hear directly from Eva team. Yeah. For the first question, so can you to explain in simple terms how ever value ensure a warranted and rising BTC for price?
Sure, it will be a pleasure. If you want to understand how EVA works, is to start understanding how a Bitcoin mining facility works, which is the basic premise of EVA. We have a mining facility and also some mining associates, but overall we have a setup where we are mining some Bitcoins. But instead of just the Bitcoins, what we are doing is that we are taking an approach to tokenize the revenue of the mining facility. How does that work? You can think of it like you have a huge savings account, and every day the profit or the revenue from the mining operation is deposited to this like savings account. So little by Bitcoin, this savings account is always increasing in Bitcoin as mining proceeds, and every day we get the revenue, the profit from mining, and deposit into this saving account or this vault. When you have this vault that is by its ever increasing in Bitcoin as mining goes on, we then come up with the EVA token, which is a limited supply token, 21 million EVA at most, with a burnable mechanism. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But each one of these limited EVAs is a small share of this ever increasing vault. So to hold to EVA is to hold on to your particular share of this vault that is every day increased by the revenues of the Bitcoin mining facility. And of course, if I say to you that if you hold EVA a portion of the vault, then you are holding a portion of Satoshis or Bitcoins. And you would like perhaps one day to not hold the share of the vault, but to withdraw your Bitcoins from the vault. You can do that
Mm.
by burning EVA. So that's why we say that is a Bitcoin-backed deflationary token. You can burn it to redeem the Bitcoin, but as you hold it, its floor price keeps rising as mining facility goes on.
Oh, yeah. So as I understand, so Ever's floor is the bonds BTC in divided by the circulating supply, right? Since supply can only, like burns, and BTC in the burns will only rises like daily deposits. Is it right?
Yes, is it right? The minimum floor price of an EVA token is the price that you get from burning the EVA against the vault. So now
Mm-hmm.
today, I think if you get one EVA and burn one EVA against the vault will give you around $1.80, $1.70 in satoshis, depending on the price of Bitcoin. But
Mm-hmm.
every day, like this amount increases little by little. So if you hold on to EVA and other people are burning EVA, EVA becomes more scarce, your share of the vault becomes bigger, and it gets a rising floor price along the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So how does the burn bond technically work, and what happens step by step when user redeem to burn Eva?
Great. In technical aspects, we are not using the Bitcoin network itself because Bitcoin does not have
Mm.
support for smart contracts. So this vault by itself is a smart contract on the Arbitrum network, and it's the vault, it's the
Mm.
smart contract that ensures some things for everyone. First of all, it's the smart contract that ensures that the EVA team is not able to withdraw from the vault or like to hijack the Bitcoins. Once a Bitcoin is deposited to the smart contract, the only way to redeem it is by burning EVAs and claiming your fair share of the vault. So step by step, what happens is that the mining happens. Once you take the profit of the mining, you have to bridge that Bitcoin from the Bitcoin network, Arbitrum network. Once it comes into the Arbitrum network, it becomes Bitcoin. Then you deposit it into the vault. When a user burns EVA, what this user is doing in a function of the vault smart contract, where the user gives EVA to the vault burns EVA, and then withdraws the Bitcoin and gives it back to the burner of EVA.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now I know. So when a holder redeems, they burn Eva, right? And the smart contract release their proportional with BTC and permanently reducing Eva supplying, right? So can you have it, like explain like a Eva value claims to be backed by real Bitcoin mine in Paraguay, right? So could you tell us more about the mining operation and how BTC is transferred into the vault daily?
Yeah, sure. Um, we have several strategies for increasing your mining hash rate power, but we have, of course, our own facilities that are hosted on several locations of Paraguay. We are there because the energy is really cheap there and it allows for a lot of efficiency. But we also have some contracts in which we are able to bring partners that have other mining facilities scattered around the globe if needed. Once we gather all this hash rate power, we compute every day how many bitcoins we have mined. Then we provide the hashes for the mining on our web page and the hashes for the bridge to the Arbitrum network, and then the hashes for the deposit of the wrapped Bitcoin on Arbitrum to the vault. So the user has like complete transparency from the beginning of our mining facilities to the deposit of the Bitcoin on the vault. Um, of course, there are some manual steps there. We cannot fully, really, nowadays, we are unable, there is no technology to really automatize the bridging from the Bitcoin to the Bitcoin network to the Arbitrum. This has to be done like semi-automatically, but the way we cover that is that we provide the full traceability of the operation every day so that users can know at least what we are doing. And if we stop doing it, then users will realize like on one day after that we stopped doing what we are expected to be doing. So whenever we can automatize, we automatize the operation. And when it's not possible to automatize, then we bridge the gap with transparency.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Daily BTC mined by EverValues per way. operation is converted to VBTC and sent on chain, right, to the burn bonds. Yeah, I think it's growing just transparently day by day. Mm, so I'm quite curious about the economic model of uh, EverValue. The deflationary mechanism of Ether differ from traditional staking or yield protocols that promise returns in BTC?
Well, great question. First of all, we did not want to proceed with any, for now at least, any staking requirements because this is really common. Lots of projects that are able to generate revenue, they require their users to lock up the tokens in order to be eligible to receive those rewards. And we wanted our users to feel locked up. So in our approach, you can burn EVA at any time you want. There is no lockup, there is no escrow, no vesting, not anything. If you have EVA, you can like at any time of the day, you can go to the vault and you can burn your EVA. And as if you burn EVA along the time, if you burn EVA today or burn EVA tomorrow or burn EVA next week, you get bigger and bigger rewards. So if you are merely holding EVA on a spot wallet and not doing any staking, anything, just if you hold EVA, you are like gaining the increasingly bigger for price of EVA. So that is how EVA works. We give flexibility to the end user, but that there are other economical aspects then that come to the table. Or burn vault, it gives like a minimum floor price which you can burn EVA against, but not necessarily the overall market will follow the price that is given by the burning mechanism of our vault. On the early days of EVA, it was really matched up, like if you would be buying EVA on Uniswap, or if you would burn EVA against the vault, or if you were selling EVA on Uniswap, the values and price would be mostly the same. But as soon as the project started to gain traction, a lot of new holders of EVA came to join our community, and we had like a mismatch. Like the price of EVA on the secondary market like skyrocketed. It's like a really good bust, and it becomes really somewhat higher than the price that was offered by the floor price. So nowadays, what you have is the prospect of EVA being able to capture more mining power and other like economic models, fetching more partners, making how do you say on Nave, like borrowing and lending protocols that are being derived from EVA to capture more value. And EVA will always be trying to increase the floor price against the vault to catch up with the secondary market. And the secondary market will do its job, which is to fairly calculate the price that the secondary market of EVA should have against the price of EVA on the burn vault. This is some of the like insights that we have nowadays on the tokenomics of EVA, because as it is a somewhat new model, I personally been studying this market for more than 5 years on my career, and I have never seen a model exactly quite EVA. So as it is in itself an experimental or new proposal of tokenomics for Bitcoin mining or Bitcoin backed tokens, we are also still gaining a lot of insights on how the market interacts with our token, how it appreciates the value of our token, and all of the things that we can come up with and think about to better defend the token in the appreciation of the market.
Yeah, cool. Really, thank you for your answer. And as I as my understanding, so unlike staking that pay BTC from emission or fee, so either increase it, each token's BTC served via burns and daily BTC inflows, right? Value accrues to their set base. Yeah. So the bond is set to be audited by Hacken and Certic. So how do this set up to ensure that no one or not even the team can move the BTC reverse? Can you explain in detail because you mentioned this once before, right? But can you go through us on this?
Well, sure. First of all, if you think about a smart contract, it will do what is being told to do, what is being programmed to do. So if you program a vault, and in the way that you program this vault, once tokens like wrapped Bitcoin tokens enter the vault, they can only leave the vault if another token is burned against them. That is what the smart contract will do. And if it is correctly programmed, then it will be no other means to move up the Bitcoins on the vault. And that comes by the nature of programmable money. If you program it correctly, then it will obey the programming, and our vault is programmed to do just that. It allows the deposit of new Bitcoins, but the withdrawal of Bitcoins can only be done if you burn your fair share of EVA against the whole stack of Bitcoins on the vault. But of course, we cannot expect people to just read the smart contract and understand that. It would be to be asked too much of the community. It's one of the basic premises of the old cypherpunk era. The code itself should be enough proof, like everyone can read the smart contract. It's open source on the Arbitrum network. But nowadays, we cannot expect people to come up and read the code, or they take our word for granted. So it is fairly usual for companies that are doing this kind of experimentation on smart contracts to hire auditing firms and ask these firms to verify the premises, the security premises that we are putting up on the smart contract. And we were very well evaluated, both by Haken, which was our first auditor, and then from Certic, that has just recently done a second audit. We even didn't need two audits, but we did that just like to reinforce our commitment to provide transparency to the community.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand. So the burn bonds is an immutable smart contract audited by Hakken and monitored by Certic. So you emphasize that Ever's value is independent of market liquidity. So how does it protect user from like volatility in sex and DEX?
Well, sure. There are several ways in which you can try to protect users against volatility. And the first one, which is like the golden rule, is that if you have liquidity depth, then you have less volatility. Tokens that have shallow liquidity, like do not have a lot of liquidity, easily volatilized. Like so, once we understood that the market was really appreciating the value of our token and was really like buying and new holders coming, one of the first attitudes that we took was to heavily increase the available liquidity for EVA on the DEX space. We are now, if I'm not like the last time I look, at least, we were amongst the top 5 liquidity providers on the whole Arbitrum network. Like we had some pairs of EVA rapid Bitcoin that were bigger than USDT Ether pairs, like on PancakeSwap or something like that. So of course, we invested a lot of our own resources to provide all of this liquidity, but we did that in order to help the community like defend the price or be able to protect themselves against like some whale that likes to sell a lot of tokens. And we have been able to do that successfully so far. But nowadays, when you really talk about crypto, you cannot only rely on DEXs. It would be really utopic for any project to think that you can only work with providing liquidity on DEX scenario alone. So once we got the hang of providing DEX liquidity, we went on to talk to SEX, and we had like a very fine pleasure to meet you guys at Weex, and also arrange for EVA to be listed on your exchange. We are very proud of that and very happy with our partnership. And when we talk about the game of centralized exchanges, for me, it's not just about the depth of liquidity. It is about knowing which partners you are choosing, and really try to reputable partners and like honest partners that will not attempt to manipulate the order book of the token. So then it comes a game of trust and reputation and really being careful when you choose your partners to list the token.
Cool, cool. So Ever's based like value references, the volumes per token and not sex or dex order books. So even in teen markets, the on-chain redeemable backing anchors price discovery, right? So beyond being a value storing token, there's upcoming integrations. So such as like DeFi utilities, payment use cases, or partnerships planned for EVA ecosystem.
Sure. Um, as EVA is a Bitcoin backed token and it has like an intrinsic Bitcoin value which keeps rising every day, it also helps to protect like from extreme volatility, which is a hook from your previous question. So if we have like one of those bloody Fridays where everything drops and like some altcoins are like melting in the front of our eyes, EVA at least can defend itself from this kind of scenario by providing a floor price which caps the overall extreme volatility, and this cap is being increased every day. We also have some plans to do other kinds of vaults that are able to defend the EVA price at higher rates. Um, but in terms of roadmap and new features, it makes a lot of sense to advance with lending borrow protocols because it makes a lot of sense to have a token that increases into value being used as a collateral. Like there is a lot of use cases for liquid staking tokens, for instance, to be used in DeFi as they accrue value a long time by merely existing. Even at least captures some of that essence. So it makes sense for us to provide like lending borrow protocols. We already have an order book functionality where users can trade like directly via our own order book. Um, as we start to like tighten our partnerships with some like sex, we can talk about developing derivatives market. We are not really so sure about that right now, but it comes up on the table when you start to get better relations with sex that you trust. And you have, of course, the new vaults. We are calling them the turbo vaults. Like we can have a layered set of vaults which are able to defend EVA at better prices than the burning price, at least for a smaller amount of EVA. And well, I think that these are like the main issues. We also have some roadmap, not from like the token blockchain side, but from the mining facility. We are now expanding our mining facility. We have like a really huge contract with lots of like megawatts in Paraguay, and if all of this capacity is used, we will be able to double our mining hash rate. But at least on day zero, it will start to increase a lot, and we'll try to reach that goal along of the like next months or next years. But we are working like every day to come up with new stuff.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, really thank you for your answer. So and I saw that roadmap items focus on expanding mining, bucket reverse, and ecosystem integrations around the burn volume mechanics, right? Payments, DeFi hooks are network extensions, add liquidity and pattern growth as well. So with a fixed 21 million token supply, so how there EverValue plan to sustain long-term growth once the burn volumes reach their maturity?
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah. So with a fixed 21 million token supply, so how do Ever plan to sustain long-term growth once the boom won't reach the maturity of it?
Sure. Um, I don't think that if a project has a limited token supply, that it lacks long-term capabilities of like getting a health token economies. Um, this should happen only if the token itself, like EVA, doesn't have a meaningful purpose on the economy of the project. That is the kind of thing that you should expect, like from governance tokens that are printed out of there and issued as reward for doing stuff that is not really related to governance, which is the case of the old DeFi tokens from the DeFi one, the first DeFi generation, and some DAO tokens that really doesn't go anywhere. But EVA itself, you don't need more EVA because all the EVA that exists and is not is accruing value on each unit on Bitcoins. So as long as we can keep mining operations running, and we still have like several decades of mining ahead of us, and as long as we can try to use EVA on DeFi, we also generate revenue from the liquidity providing of EVA and use that liquidity to like reinforce the vault. So I think that as long as the project can come up with creative ways to like to make the vault prosper, then it's okay for EVA to have a limited supply cap because the value that each EVA can redeem will increase a long time.
Oh wow, that fascinating. So with a hard copy of 21 million EVA in ongoing BTC deposits, security compounds over time. Yeah, so how does EverValue's mining infrastructure in Peru to ensure the environmental and operational sustainability as BTC production scales?
Yes, the Bitcoin mining is challenging. Okay, so the EVA team has been mining Bitcoin since 2027. And of course, this was before they come up with the EVA project. They are miners from a long time ago. And as they were gathering experience from the mining market, then they started to come up with new ideas to improve their operation of this market. I think that the challenge of long-term sustainability of Bitcoin mining is there for all of the projects and companies that try to take up to this challenge. But I think that it is still early to try to map out how the end game of mining is going to be. Like this is an open question that relates to Bitcoin itself. Like what will happen like after two more halvings, three more halvings? How are miners going to be sustainable? Um, I think that we are not able to answer this question right now. I don't think any miner on the world is able to answer this question right now. But I think that Bitcoin as a whole is becoming ever more relevant. Bitcoin is becoming more relevant to exchanges, to ETF funds, to governments, to companies. And I think that given this relevance that Bitcoin is attaining on the global market and the global politics as well, it is inevitable that some form of subsidy will will be needed to be invented to help miners keep maintaining the network secure. This is some kind of philosophical or speculative approach. Of course, we could talk a lot about that, but I have fair confidence that the Bitcoin protocol will need to find a way to keep the mining operations profitable because we cannot afford to have an unsecure Bitcoin in the near future. And if it is not like by the increase of taxes, or if it's not by the decrease of the cost of electricity, if it is not by the invention of new, more efficient ASICs, then will become like other economical means, even from third parties that are not directed related to the Bitcoin protocol, but will incentivize. We have some solutions like that are really interesting from the rootstock guys. They do like merged mining operations, so you can use the same hash power for Bitcoin and for other networks, so the miner can capture more revenues. I think that what EVA can do is keep really a smart eye open to understand the development of this market and always try to keep an edge on it.
All right, cool. I also believe on that. Like the most goes by routing my BTC into the vault on schedule, operational details, emphasize consistent production, feeding, transparent on-chain deposit as well. So I think we're gonna go through the final question from my side, and then we'll go to the live Q&A sessions. So yeah, this one we'll walk through vision for the future. So what is EverValue's long-term vision? So do you see Ever evolving into a new type of Bitcoin yield or a BTC bucket financial ecosystem?
Yes, I think there is still a lot of open space to experimentation with something like EVA. For instance, I think that on the near future, we'll be able to experiment on some ideas derived from Pendle. Whenever you have a project that is able to generate yield, you can think about the tokenization of this yield. It is something we haven't explored so far. And I also think that we may be able to see in the near future some advancements on the Bitcoin protocol itself. Who knows, Bitcoin may become more programmable, or we may finally see the birth of good second layers with programmability, with programming capabilities on Bitcoin. And it we are always like keeping an eye open for something that would allow us to fully automatize the life cycle of EVA, like to automatically grab the revenue from the mining and automatically bridge it, or if we can do like a vault that is BTC native with programming capabilities on Bitcoin, second layer of Bitcoin. This is the kind of stuff that we are really excited and really following up close the Bitcoin community, because it would be really nice for us to like be more close to Bitcoin with our vault and our programming than we are today, but Bitcoin does not allow us for that kind of sophistication so far. So we have evolutions that we can pursue on the tokenomics side, on the incentives of EVA, on the yield generation and yield distribution, evolutions on the mining facility, like how can we mine better, and always, of course, keeping an eye for new capabilities of like that can come up on Bitcoin for smart contracts, which are we are very interested into.
Yep, yep. Real appreciate. So Eva aims to be a BTC Parker financial primitive, a deflationary on-chain instrument where holders or organically accumulate BTC exposure as well. So yeah, as I mentioned before, we are head into the final 5 minutes of today's space. So we're opening the floor to audience question, and we'll pick a handful of the most insightful ones from the comments. So each question we select will earn a $15 reward. So bring your smarter takes and sharp it answer as well. And one small reminder, as usual, to qualify, include your Weex UID when you post under this thread as well. And yeah, this your chance to connect directly with the Eva team to custom dig into how BTC Bucket and deflationary access with a transparent on-chain vault and daily BTC inflows from pairway-based mining can reshape token design as well, like price for and long-term sustainability. So as always, and get a word for it. Yeah. Let me choose from the comments the question. Oh, okay, I see. How does the BTC bucket burn bonds model make Ether different from other deflationary tokens? So I think we've just you just walked through this, right?
Yes, sure. We call any token deflationary if this token has like a maximum supply cap and it has any kind of burning mechanism. So you have like you cannot have more than X tokens, and from this set of maximum X tokens, you have a burning mechanism that is always subtracting from the max amount. So if you have that kind of setup, you say that you have something that is deflationary. You have a supply that is ever decreasing. One of the differences from EVA is that we have projects today that do, for instance, buyback and burn policies. So the project comes up every 2 months, every 3 weeks, and it buys up some tokens and destroys these tokens. The difference from EVA is that the burning of EVA results in Bitcoin extraction from our vault. So you are not just doing like mindless burning, because sometimes it seems to me that projects like does burning only because number like this very primitive approach, very greedy or degen like mentality, in that even if there is no reason else the number go up, we are burning because everybody likes to burn tokens. And we are not really into that kind of mindless mentality. We think that tokens that relate to a project must have a purpose. It must have a meaningful relation. So it is not just about burning EVA for the sake of burning, sake of number go up. You burn EVA because you want to withdraw Bitcoin from the vault. So it has a meaning, it has a purpose. And that is something that really differs all deflationary mechanisms from others that are out there.
Oh yeah, cool. So I think good answer could help our user to understand more of the differentiation between either with other deflationary tokens in the current market as well. So for the second question, with no new tokens ever mined, ever minted, so how do you plan to drive long-term utility and adoption for Ether?
Sure. We drive adoption for EVA. People can like buy EVA and hold EVA on the secondary market, which is available for everyone. So you do not necessarily need to mint up new tokens to get people to engage. You can do that if you have a healthy secondary market, if you have good liquidity, and if you have stuff to do with the token. Of course, holding EVA is a good stuff to do because EVA is going to keep increasing in value, but we want to do more. We are coming up with our lending protocol, which will be like a huge breakthrough for our community, so they can try to monetize their EVAs, providing them as collateral and do more sophisticated operations. In regards of that, you can come up with more creative ways to use, but do not necessarily you need to mint up new tokens to foster market adoption.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Understand. Yeah, so for the last question, let me see. All right. What measure what what measure ensure transparency and trust in the daily BTC accumulation process?
Well, is as I stated before, whatever steps of EVA like life cycle we are able to automate a smart contract, we have automatized. In whenever steps we cannot do fully automation, we are going to provide transparency. So if you check our website, we have like full provided dashboards for our provided liquidity, for our mining operations, for how much revenue and profit we are generating every day, how much is being deposited on the vault. And if we keep doing that, and if everyone keeps checking, so then it's very easy to know when we stop doing anything that people expect us to do. You just see that we do not provide the hash rate, or we provided a transaction hash that does not exist, or we didn't provide anything at all, then anyone will be able to detect that we have deviated from our standard behavior patterns. So and that's it. You have a combination of good transparency practices and like immutable smart contracts operation when it's possible to do so.
Yeah. I understand. And I think for those information can have our answer can have our user to understand better about Ether, the mechanism, about the unique of Ether as well. So yeah, I think that's the last question and that's the last part of our space today. And a huge thank you to EverValue, to Castan for joining us today, and to everyone who turned in asked thoughtful question, and like make this space such a dynamic session as well. So if you haven't yet, check out Ever now officially listed on Weex, and as usual, we always offer deep liquidity, lightning fast trade execution, and with our over 1,000 BTC protection funds, so Wix remain your most trusted venue for secure, seamless trading across over 1,700 crypto pairs. So before we grab, quick reminder for our ongoing exclusive events for not only for Ether and for other tokens right now. So yeah, by we appreciate your energy and engagement. This community is what powers Wake Forward. And Caston, do you have anything else to say with people here before we end?
Well, just first of all, thank you guys a lot for this invitation and for setting up this space. It has been a pleasure talking to you all. Thank you a lot, Cinis, as well. And we invite everyone, if you want like to get in contact with us, access our website, evervaluecoin.com. We have a Telegram group. You can also chat with us on Telegram and ask questions to the community, to the team. It will be our pleasure to like receive you guys there as well.